Good morning, my beautiful souls. This is Star Delta 9. I'm coming back at you with another video and you're cracked wide open. This morning I want to talk about the chakras and the 7 bodies that we house. We have 7 basic bodies or vibratory rates that are units of consciousness and habit. Our chakras relate to these particular levels: physical, emotional, astral, mental, intuitive, compassion, will, spirit, soul, and divine. The first 3 relate to our personality levels, and the last 4 are our spiritual levels. Each of these 7 bodies has 7 different levels or sub-levels, and the vibratory rate of which correspond to the 7 main bodies. For example, let's say the physical body, it has a sub-level of a physical, emotional, an astral, a mental, an intuition, a compassionate, a will, a spirit, a soul, and higher divine, right? And each sub-level has its own energy vortexes, chakras within chakras. So the strongest chakra in each body are the double chakras. For example, the physical chakras of the physical body, the emotional centers of the emotional body, and the mental level of the mental body, right? So you have, in the physical, you have a subdivision of it, right? So I've talked about them before. All these levels are integrated, and what affects one affects the other. Right? And so a problem that manifests on a certain level in one body will also manifest itself in a corresponding level in the other 6. So for example, let's say you have trouble at an emotional level in the physical body. That'll mean that you possibly have trouble at an emotional level in the emotional, mental, intuition, compassion, will, spirit, and the soul and divine bodies. Because damage to one lower chakra affects all the corresponding chakras above it. And the same holds true, that releasing and cleansing at one level will facilitate and release the cleansing as it corresponds to the other levels within the body. So it's a beautiful thing the way that it works. And the ultimate goal here is for all of us to be cleansed, unblocked, and in harmony, at which point we have our greatest power and our greatest sense of well-being. Let me give you an example. Trouble on the 3rd level chakra. The 3rd level chakra is the mental level of the intuition, compassionate body, which causes a poor attitude towards the things you understand. It would appear either as a mindset that your understanding has no value, or as a feeling that your understanding is absolute truth, making it or you inflexible and egoic. The malfunctions on the mental level of all of the intuitive and compassionate bodies will probably cause a malfunction in the attitude towards your physical body, your feelings, your mental abilities, and even your power to think, even your will and your spirit. When you have trouble accepting your physical body, you may also have trouble at the physical level on every other body: your stomach, your emotional body, your throat, your mental body, your liver, your intuitive, compassionate body, the palms and the soles of your feet, which is your will and your spirit bodies, your instep and sides of your wrists, which is your soul level bodies, and the ends of your toes and the ends of your fingers, which are divine bodies. So I know during the 2600 years of the Piscean age, people have spent an entire life working primarily on one body, our mental body, right? And they sometimes worked on maybe 2 or 3 bodies at most. But now we need to really cleanse and develop all of our bodies to achieve the necessary unity for utilizing the power of this Aquarian age energy. Spirit says we are a whole. We don't need to be treated as parts and pieces. We are whole, holy, abundant, and healed. And this is a reason so much unresolved karma seems to be coming up into the world and coming to a head. We're experiencing a general house cleaning in all areas of Gaia and within us as sentinel beings. And people who have difficulty handling the powerful Aquarian age cleansing energies may respond to the pressures of the energies, and maybe their inability to use it constructively, they might become angry. They might become violent. They might be depressed. But those who have already achieved good cleansing and unification of their mind, their physical, their psychological, and their spiritual bodies, and all of the sub-levels of all other bodies that lie within, those are the ones that are going to be leading the pack here, so to speak. Those who have already achieved good cleansing and unification of the bodies, or who are at least doing intense cleansing work such as I. They'll be able to use this Aquarian age energy in very constructive, joyful, creative, and spiritual ways. Because one of the aspects of the Aquarian age is to increase awareness of the physical body and its functions. We're not just a mind, right? And most of us have been trained to rely primarily on our brain power for its information. But by running into the consciousness received through the body by our chakras, we will be more in tune with the higher mental and spiritual energies, and freer from restrictions and brain programming. So development and use of the brain was primarily very, very important during the Piscean age. But now we need to use other areas to expand to a higher octane of mental and spiritual energies. So I want to give you a few and talk a little bit about them. I'll give you 3 today to start. The physical body is the densest of all 7 bodies that we house, and the only one which can be really seen without clairvoyancy. Through the physical body, we actually express, we receive, and we become aware through our sensory input, through the governing and chakra systems that we receive this somatic input through, right? And these 7 chakras, they are levels that compromise or they're comprised of the physical body, if you will. So you have a physical level, an emotional level that I'll go over today, and the mental level. So the physical level, the locations are in the heels of your feet and in your hands. The function of the chakras within those areas is to have energy outlet for us to be assertive, for us to release physical aggression and release power struggles, right? And if it's blocked, you have a tendency to walk more on your toes, or you're not expressing yourself to the greatest ability that you can because you feel like you have to walk around on eggshells, or you have your hands may even be cold and you may have them pulled back, or you may have difficulty even reaching out and shaking a person's hand. If it's too open, you're very, very demanding. The function of this energetic chakra here is the energy outlet for us to have self-assertion and for releasing physical aggressiveness, right? And you can't do that in a positive way if you have too much or too little. The second is the emotional level. The location is in the spleen. The function of the spleen chakra is peace on an emotional level. That's its function. If that chakra is too open or spinning too fast, you have excessive anger. You might be that might be expressed, and sometimes you might be expressing that in really unhealthy ways. If it's blocked, you're holding excessive anger that may be released in subconscious ways even, and not always positive and good for you. Now we'll go to the mental level. In the mental level, there's 4 locations: the top of the shoulders, above the arm sockets, and the pelvic bones, and on either side of the sit bones. The function here is expression of mental attitudes towards the body and its functioning in the physical world, right? And if it's spinning too fast or it's too open, you have excessive awareness and you're preoccupied with your body, probably working out too much, drinking too many healthy shakes, and running your body ragged. And if it's too blocked, you probably have no awareness of your exhaustion. You don't feel fatigue or pain because you're not in touch with the physical body and you're unable to work with it and its problems. So it's really important that these chakras and all of these bodies are opened up and used and to our benefit, not to harm us, right? You have many, many, many chakras beyond the 7 that you think you have. Kundalini is a natural force common to all of us, a Sanskrit word which means circular power. And chakras spin in a circular motion, and they can spin backwards and forwards and too slow and not fast enough in an individual's basic evolutionary force, right? It's the natural flow, and it goes up your spine and out the top of your head, and it runs along these pathways, and it brings you new awareness, new abilities, and even transcendental states. So a fully developed person will have exceptional paranormal gifts. They will have great spiritual awareness. They are truly to be considered geniuses or godlike gurus. And each of us must deal with this energy, this Kundalini energy that we all house within us. And the more knowledgeable you are, the more ready you will be, and the more wonderful the experience will be for you and with you. So this is why I'm sharing these with you. Please sound off in the comments section. As always, I'll go over the other bodies in the next video to come. I love you guys so much. Namaste.